In today's video, we are going to be breaking down some three-point shooting tips that you can actually use in-game as well. Now, if you want to be able to shoot the basketball better, make sure to go check out my basketball shooting workout down in the description below. That's going to help you shoot from a lot further away. It's going to build your strength so that you can hit these really deep threes as David did just right behind me. So let's get down and let's check out what is so important and what you can do to improve your chances of shooting threes and, of course, making them in-game. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, if you can attack the basket and do it successfully like David Kouadio does here, then what's going to happen is the defense is going to give you space. Also, if you as a point guard or as a shooting guard or whoever your position may be or whatever your position may be, if you're always looking for cutters who are cutting towards the basket as we see right here, this is going to open yourself up to a lot of three-point opportunities. Especially if your team sets screens, if you're not a three-point shooter, these players are going to be going underneath that screen, which will then allow you to be open, but also cuts your options down because you're not going to be able to attack the basket. However, here, David's defender goes over top of that screen, pushes him just slightly, but he then goes downhill, attacks the basket, and scores. If it wasn't for that player going over top of the screen, he would have never had the opportunity to get an easy layup, but if that player went underneath, that means that he does not respect your shot and you should pull for the three. Now, another tip that I'm going to give you is the fact that if you are a right-handed player, as we see David is right here, when he comes off of this screen or this dribble handoff, look at his man. First off, he wasn't shooting much at all. I'm not saying he wasn't shooting at high percentage, but he wasn't shooting threes up until this point. He was attacking the basket, which then forced or made that defender want to go underneath that screen. It also helps that this team was playing a zone defense. So David, by going towards his left side, gets his right side in line automatically. That's a lot faster and more consistent shot for a right-handed player if you're going towards your left side. And then he was able to shoot from quite a far distance out, and he made this shot. This is much farther than an NBA 3, and this is a FIBA 3 right here. NBA 3 is about right here. This is probably about 3 feet further than an NBA 3. And for in this case, a 13-year-old in this video, that is a fantastic shot, but also amazing distance. Now, yes, he leaned his body forward slightly to get some extra power. He jumped forward a little bit to get some extra power. But he was able to make this shot, and it was a consistent shot. It was a straight shot because he was going towards his left side, which automatically gets his right side in line. He tilts his body anyways in his shot, and that is something that you should also be looking at doing as well. If you're shooting and you cannot get your elbow underneath the ball, and for players with longer arms, if you can't get that elbow underneath that ball, sometimes tilting your body away will allow you to be able to get that elbow underneath that ball because that creates that shooting triangle that I always talk about, and that allows for a straight shot. Here, David gets the ball swung to him. This team is still in a zone defense. They were playing zone defense the entire game almost. I would say about 66% of the game, and that just allows David to hit that wide open shot. Which comes to my next tip. A lot of players are afraid to shoot threes, whether they're open or not. If you're open, that needs to be a shot. I don't care if you're shooting 5% from 3. If you are wide open, you need to take it because now that's keeping the defense honest. David hit, I think it was 4 or 5 threes this game. Eventually, they started guarding him out on the perimeter. And when they did, he was able to drive to the basket and make them pay. Again, another team that's running a zone. We had a guy in the dunker spot right there. However, this guy wasn't even paying attention all that much. So David could have taken that lane, could have dumped it off to the man in the dunker spot, and this guy can actually dunk. And that would have allowed us to have an easy layup. However, what would you rather have? In my opinion, considering David shoots at a 45+% from 3 against a team that has a couple of big men who can get rebounds, I would actually really like to see him take that 3 because we have a guy who's already in rebound spot. We had Andrew who was in rebound spot as well. We had 2 guys rebounding, a guy who can dunk on the side where there's 2 big guys, and this guy Andrew who can time rebounds extremely well on a side that didn't have any rebounders. This shot, if missed, has a high percentage to go to this side, in which case this was a good shot because there's no rebounders on this side, and we have Andrew, who can time rebounds extremely well. So this, in my opinion, was a better option than driving, because then, especially in the situation we were in this game at this point in time, it was actually a very perfect shot, and we needed that 3. Again, not guarding the 3-point shot. I know this is way deeper than FIBA 3, and most coaches will say, I don't want players to shoot from this deep, but if you can, and David has a very good shot as it is, that is going to go in every single time as well, especially when it's wide open with a shorter player guarding you. Keep in mind that these guys are all grade 8s, and David in this clip was a grade 7. Also, being able to understand that and be ready for players like David as an example to drive to the rim and kick the ball out. One of the most deadly spots on the court is the corner 3 when a player drives to the basket. I always like to have players set up in the corners. Now, in this clip, we had Kyle in the corner, but he was cutting to the basket. He's 6'4", 6'5" as a grade 8 and as a 13-year-old. And that is the right decision to cut. His man dropped off anyways. This could have been a drop to Kyle for a layup. We've ran that a few times this summer. However, this kick out 3 I like because it's Andrew, and Andrew is a deadly corner 3-point shooter. So overall, you need to be able to shoot 3s to keep the defense honest, but some of the tips in this video that you can learn from is if you're a right-handed player, going towards your left side gets your right side in line, because if you're going towards your right side, you got to turn your whole body and then shoot, and that takes time, and that makes extra movement so that you're going to have a less consistent shot. So learn how to dribble with your left hand so you can go to the left side and, of course, jack that 3. And then when you are looking to become a deeper shooter, obviously you're going to need more lower back strength, some more leg strength. That's going to really help you, some core strength to be able to get that extra distance. So definitely go check out my hardest basketball shooting workout. That is down in the description below. I hope that this video has helped you. If it has, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.